Howdy folks, this is Tall Turtle here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are 25% done with the Discover Iceland bush trip. I assume you watched the first two legs, so no more introduction than that. Let's just jump into leg 3. Here we go. Alright, so first thing we do is find our lights because it is really dark. I think it's this one, it's this one. Here we go. Let's, whoa, not that much. Turn these up a little bit. Looks like the sun has been back down on the horizon. The first leg, sun was like this. Second leg is coming up. Third leg is dark. I don't get it. But anyway, we're going to come down here, repair and refuel like usual. And set up autopilot before we take off. So where are we going? Where are we headed? All that stuff. Well, we're headed to BIAR, wherever that is. It's in the description below. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I put all the airport names and locations in the description below for each leg. Oh, before we do that though, I've been receiving comments. Oh, where'd it go? Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I've been receiving comments from Xbox users that the line for our path is not in the Xbox version, but it has been in the PC version. But all of a sudden today, for the first time ever, we don't have a line either. Which is fine. But I liked having the POIs listed so we know what we're looking for. That is really strange. Weird. For the first time, we don't have a line either. Okay. That suddenly makes things way challenging. No, it doesn't. Actually, no, it doesn't. Because on the GPS down here, it'll tell us the time to the next POI or when the airplane turns, you know. Right there. So it makes it half challenging. That's good news, I guess. That the challenge is suddenly increased in leg 3 in the middle of a bush trip. In the middle of a bush trip, it changes. The challenge changes now. We don't have a line anymore, which is fine. But it's kind of weird. You have to admit that's weird. Middle of a bush trip, things change. Okay, that's fine. I'm kind of bummed because it was really nice to look for the POI, then we know what we're looking at. And now we have no idea. Oh well, whatever. We'll figure out as we go. Okay, fine. Alrighty, first thing we need to do here is take off, lift into the skies from that place and head northwest to that place. A hidden lake in the vastness of this part of Iceland. Alright, so we'll go at about 7 minutes 40 seconds. We'll see if our ETE reduces, and then we'll look for a lake hidden in the vastness of this part of Iceland, and then we'll read about the next POI. So 7 minutes 40 seconds or so. We won't use the timer here. We'll just use the timer over here. I've already talked in many other legs about doing it without the GPS, with the GPS, with autopilot. Without autopilot, we've been there, done that, done all the different things. We're doing it this way. This is how we're doing it. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to set up autopilot, flight director. I wonder if this means it'll turn on. Nope. Nope. Okay, we're going to head northwest, which is over here, to a lake hidden. And then we need to hide that map. And then we're going to do CDI, GPS, which already is. So we do nav. Altitude, what altitude do we want? Let's go 6,000 until we get an idea for the train. But then I don't want to be that high because then you miss stuff. But we'll do 6,000 for now. There's 5.5 and 6. And we'll do vertical speed, 800 feet per minute. And there we go. So I just turn autopilot and we are good to go. So that is it. Do we have flaps down 1? I think there's, yeah, flaps down 1. There we go. And that's it. I'm kind of like distracted because of the missing line on our map, but that's okay. We just have to pay attention now. Parking brake, fine. I guess parking brake was off and I engaged it. So here we go. I know everything's in the red over there on the engine information, but we'll keep it that way till we take off. Otherwise, if we miss stuff, we'll just fly till we see the airport, but we'll be skedaddling. That'll get us off a little bit. We won't know what we're looking at. And come on, here we go. Brakes to stop the wheels from spinning. Gear is fixed, and flaps coming in. And let's get going here. Wait, is autopilot even gonna work? Wait, it's not even. We're gonna have a line on there. Autopilot might not even do anything. Where's my button? I can't see that far away. What's gonna happen? Is it just gonna keep this heading? This just got a lot more interesting, didn't it, everybody? We might actually have to work for this, because look, our GPS isn't registering here. Okay. Fascinating. Yeah, our GPS isn't picking anything up. So, okay, I kind of like this. It's going to make us work a little bit harder. The problem is, yeah, alright, let's start that timer, I guess, so we have an idea what's going on. The problem is, it just says there's a hidden lake, right? A lake hidden in the vastness, that's all it's going to tell us. But there's a lot of lakes hidden in the vastness, which is a problem. So let's head 304 degrees. Okay, let's do this the way we're supposed to, everybody. Let's get this set for, where's our heading thing? Heading 304. Is that what it said? 304. Alright, here we go. 304. And I really wish that Copilot would stop talking to us. There we go. It did say 304, right? Yeah. Well, okay, what does this mean for you all then? Who are used to watching my bush trip videos? It means less sightseeing out the window and more working and more actively engaged, because, you know, I don't already talk enough already. So those of you who want me to talk more, you're going to get your wish. Those of you who don't want me to talk more, well, this is the way it's going to be. So there's 304 degrees. If you come over here and look at a lake in the, I don't know, there's millions of lakes. A lake 7 minutes out is probably that one? I don't know. We're going to find out together. Or it could be that one? I don't know. We're going to have to keep an eye on things. So what are we going to do? What do we got? I don't know. Let's see if I can Google that lake on Google Maps. And see what it looks like. Let's see if I can type that in. Well, Google Maps works, but it just puts me in the middle of nowhere. It says it's a lake in Iceland, but the map shows nothing. So we are just going to do this the old-fashioned way, folks. We're going to do this the way it's as intended and see what happens. So we have a couple minutes yet. And then what? Then we got another lake that has a large number of birds. Okay, whatever, we'll figure it out. As long as we get in the vicinity, our map will show us the airports anyway. Okay, we have to work for this one. I'm fine. I'm totally fine with working for it. Totally. It's just weird that it's in the middle of a trip. We suddenly have to work for it. Weird. Anyway, let me hide this. Let's do a little bit of sightseeing at least, and then we'll figure out what the heck is going on here. Alright, that's all the sightseeing you get. And that's what I've been talking about in previous legs when I'm like, we do the autopilot GPS thing so you can sightsee more. But we can't sightsee more. We have to fly a plane now, which is totally okay. It's totally okay. Alright, but the question is, the lake. Okay, so I'll tell you what happened on Google Maps. When I pulled up Google Maps, it says, yeah, there's a lake there called that, but it put the pin right here. So I don't know what's going on there. I think going based on time, I mean, we're going to probably a little bit slower than they intended, So maybe the lake, whoop, come here. Maybe the lake is up there for real. But I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be that one? I don't know. Because we're almost at 7 minutes now. And a minute and a half. And we're climbing, so I don't know, maybe that's the lake. It says vastness. I don't know, that's the problem. There's billions of lakes around here. So anyway, we're going to keep flying this heading for a little bit. Or maybe it means we're over there if we were supposed to turn sooner. I don't know. But let's read about the next POI and get us prepared here. Alright, let's see. Oh, we're finally reaching altitude, which seems to be a good altitude for this terrain. At least we're going to keep it this way for now. Maybe that's the lake. I don't know. Maybe that's the lake. Maybe that's the lake. We'll fly on that area a little bit more while we read about this. 43 nautical miles further, you'll pass above Maitventen, a shallow lake known for attracting a large number of birds. Okay, this lake is on Google Maps. So this is a big lake, not much else around it. That'll be very easy to spot. Let me actually show you, since we have the time, let me actually show you if it's on here. Let's see, this right here. We're headed for that. So, given we don't want to turn our heading yet, because what was the heading going to be? 297. I'm guessing the lake they wanted us to go to is probably one of these, based on the climb and turning late, and then turning to 297. So let's keep that zoomed. Whoa, come on, let's keep that zoomed out. There we go. Alrighty, so here we go. We are going to hop outside, and we'll assume it's one of these lakes they wanted us to aim for. I mean, that's all I can tell you, right? Alright, this is fun. I admit, this is a lot more fun than just setting GPS and autopilot and forgetting about it. I admit, I love doing it this way. It's just less smooth of the turtle style sightseeing video, but then again, you're here for this. So after 45 legs or 50 legs of bush trips, you finally get to see it done the right way. So here we go. Let's stop the timer. Reset it to 0. Let's start the timer again and turn our heading to 297. So you come down here and you do heading 297, and the autopilot will follow it to, whoops, I went too far. Did it say 297? Is that what it said? 297. Okay, for 13 minutes or so. And we'll see. Well, there you go. I mean, we're heading right towards it, right? There's the lake we're heading for, so that's what we want. And there's lots of birds. It's a shallow lake known for lots of birds. There you go. We will be able to squeeze in some sightseeing because we know where we're going thanks to Google, the Google machine. Had I not had the Google machine, I would have assumed that was it based on the heading and the distance and that there's a big old lake in the middle of nowhere. So we would have figured it out without the map, but that's okay. So anyway, we do have time for sightseeing. 13 minutes or so, 12 minutes now. So anything else we need to do or know? Nope, I really don't care about that map now. So that's it, sightseeing, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so we're about 4 minutes out or so from our POI, the big lake. So the lake looks huge on this map, But looking over here, it doesn't look very big at all. I just thought that was interesting. Alrighty, let's see. A little bit too early to read about the next BOI, so we'll hang out here for a second until we get to this lake. And in the meantime, we'll check out the sites to be seen. A lot of volcanic and glacial type activity, I guess. A little bit of mountains. Oh, there's a weird slow rendering thing. It was fine up until this point, and now it's having a hard time catching up with us. I know that's for performance for Xbox, but it used to render all the way out as far as we could see. Now it only goes around us, and it's slow to catch up. Oh well, we'll deal with it. We'll live with it. Alrighty, so there's the lake right there to our left. We're going to wait until we get to it because we need to turn right. I already read ahead here, sorry. When we get to the lake, which will be a little bit yet. So it says almost 13 minutes, 7 seconds. It's going to be longer than that. But when we get there, we'll turn to 357 and we'll fly north-northwest. We'll pass Húsavík, a picturesque harbor town on the northern coast of Iceland, which is in this little tiny horseshoe right there, which will make sense once we zoom into it, but if we zoom in now we won't see it. So we'll do that, and that'll take us a couple minutes, but we're not quite ready to make that turn. So let's stare out of the windshield instead of the windscreen and look at the lack of rendering. Oh, that's so it's so frustrating. It's rendered so nicely around us, and then all of a sudden right there it's not rendered at all. Bummer. Sometimes it does catch up and it's just slow. Other times it doesn't render at all. Like over to the right, see that line right there? It rendered around it, but it didn't render that square, but you can see the lines, see the straight lines. So that cell or whatever hasn't rendered for some reason, and it probably will when we get past it. The stuff up here isn't rendered yet, but the stuff right below us obviously has. So I mean, I get why people are frustrated. It is kind of annoying. It is annoying, but anyway, there's our big lake. We'll wait one more second here before we change our heading, even though it says it's time, but it always seems to take me longer to get places. I don't understand why. And now we are ready to make our change. So what did it say? It said 357, so let's reset that and change that and come down here and go to 357 like so. There's 20, 30, 40, whoop, well, come here, 57, there we go. Let it do its thing, and it says how long. 8 minutes 34 seconds. We'll see how long it really takes us. And since I did look on Google Maps, I know where we're headed. Like I said, we are headed to this little horseshoe thing right there that we can't see. And it looks like we're going to go a little bit. See, I turned a little early. See, we're going to end up a little east of it. If I would have waited till we made it to the lake, it would have put us over here. Now we would have gone exactly toward it. So I turned a little too soon. Even though the time said turn a minute ago, I should have waited till we were physically over it. See, it always takes me longer to get places. I don't know why. But anyway, it's right there. I'm waiting for it to pop in on this zoom level. Not quite there yet. Or is it right there? I can't tell. Yeah, it is. It's that one right there next to that lake. So right there's where we're actually headed. Because I know where we are, let's change our heading back a little bit and correct ourselves like so. There we go. Alrighty, that will give us time to do some more sightseeing. So I will give you some sightseeing, and when we get closer to the town, which is called Húsavík, we will reconvene. Looking at my timer on my recording versus how long this entire leg is supposed to be, we're like 12, yeah, we're like 12 minutes behind. But it doesn't matter, I'll see in a little bit. It looks like the rendering isn't getting any better. I guess in front of us it's okay, but when I was looking behind us in that little sightseeing moment, it just was not rendering. It was terrible. But anyway, hopefully everybody's okay back there. Yes, we'll have a bathroom soon. Alrighty, so the town we're gonna look for is gonna be in this little cove right here to the left of the mountain thing. That's what we're looking for. We'll pass right over it, and then when we do, we will turn to the left. And if we read about that now, because things are gonna happen more quickly now, we're going to fly west, cross over 3 small mountain ranges. That would be boom, boom, boom right there on the map. And then we'll reach the largest fjord, one of the largest fjords in Iceland, which is right here. So I don't even need to look at Google Maps for that. That is super obvious. And once we cross over the fjord, we'll pass over the town of Akureyri, which must be down here. And then the airport is right there. Yep, see BIAR. So it looks like a straight in approach because there's the fjord will be coming from here, coming down here. So we're going to fly over here and come down the fjord into the airport, which must be around sea level because there's a fjord. So we will, once we cross the mountain ranges, which we should be having enough altitude now, we'll come down steeply and land. So there's the rest of our trip. Pretty straightforward. We don't even need the nav log or the time, but we'll kind of keep it up there. But otherwise we're going to come over here again, cross these mountain ranges, and then use the fjord to descend. Very straightforward. So let's actually just reset our timer now and put the nav log away, and we are done with that. Alrighty, do we see a picturesque town down there? If we do, it has not rendered in yet, but the mountain range is rendered in. Weird. I don't understand. And I do like the water reflecting the mountains in the bay. Alrighty, anyway, do we see the town? I don't see the town. Oh yeah, they're starting to render in now. So pretty. I'll have to look at pictures of real life being on the ground. I don't need to look at pictures in the air because this is pretty much what it looks like in the air, right? But from the ground it'd be interesting to see. Alright, there's the town. It's rendering in finally. There it is, right in the middle of your screen. There you go, dead center of your screen. So we're a little too high to see much detail of the town, but if we were any lower we wouldn't make the mountain ranges, so that's too bad. That's the trade-off when you're doing a bush trip like this in mountains. We have done bush trips way low to the ground when we could, like Denmark we were way low to the ground, and other bush trips we've been really high, so it just depends. Alrighty, let's see if I do this right though. We can make it so we turn and pivot over the town. So we want to use 253 to make our turn to the west. But I just want to wait a minute here till we pass it, and then we should go look out the window. Anyway, let's use that window. There we go. Alrighty, here we go. 253. If I go this direction, should get us 253. Quickly. Then we can look out the window. There is 2. Oh my gosh, taking forever. 60 and 53. Look out the window. There we go. Right over the town as planned. That is awesome. Yep, see that little cove and everything. There we go. Alrighty, and we're gonna cross over the 3 little mountain ranges. Bam, bam, bam. And then descend into BIAR. And that'll conclude our trip. We have a little bit left. We have about 15 minutes left probably, which will put us way over the 39 minutes I think it's supposed to take. That's going to put us close to an hour, but it always takes me longer to do everything. That's fine. That's fine. I'm slowing down as I get older. Alrighty. Oh, Minecraft clouds in the water. Alrighty, we have some sightseeing over these mountain ranges, and then I'll see you at the fjord, and we'll come down and land this thing. Alright, we're reaching the mountain ranges and we are reaching some bumpy terrain. I love the terrain turbulence in this simulator. It really is awesome. See, we're at 6,000 feet and we're barely going to clear this mountain. You want to stay 1,000 feet above your terrain. That's standard rule, and it actually says that in the loading screens for the bush trips. It says stay 1,000 feet at least above your terrain, which is true. Because you got swells and winds and thermals, all kinds of stuff come off these mountains. So it makes it very bumpy, and that is actually simulated in the sim, which is great. But it does make me nauseous. So here's our first mountain range, and then we got number 2, which is kind of this one, and then the third one. Because of our angle, we're really going to hit 2 of them. And then we'll come down. Oh my gosh, it's making me kind of dizzy. But it's worth it, I think. And you can see our fjord here. We're aiming for this fjord. And we'll come down and land at the airport, which is right at the end of it, right over there. Very simple. So there's our first valley, right there. And the river runs through it. And then the other side of our valley. Oh, there's a little lake there on top. That's super cool. This is looking very Minecrafty up here in terms of terrain generation. I like it. And there's a fjord coming into view. So let's have one final look at the mountain range using the drone. And then we will be ready to descend and land. And there's the town way back there, right off the tail. Cute. Very remote though between towns. Way more remote than, northern Minnesota. Which I've had people from the coasts not realize how vast the Midwest is of the United States. So they'll be like, I'll drive for 2 hours and not get anywhere where I live. You drive for 2 hours in Minnesota and you might see 2 people in between. I'm like, yep. And then 2 hours won't even get you between cities sometimes. Alrighty, that looks gorgeous, but it's time to put the drone away and time to get ready to turn to the south. What do they recommend? They recommend using 193 and then 177 at the last minute. We're just going to use the map to help us guide through here. I think we can just do it like that, yeah. We will wait until we're actually over the fjord because we do have to come down. See the airport right there? In fact, what we can do while we're waiting to reach the fjord is we can reset our altitude. Let's go down to 2,000 and then we'll take over. Actually, we'll probably take over before that, but that's what we'll use. I'm not quite ready to do vertical speed yet though, or it'll start coming down. But we just want to cross over this. Alright, let's start coming down. Vertical speed down. Let's bring back throttles too, so we don't overspeed, and bring back throttles will buy us some time, right? Alright, so what have we got? 1,000 feet per minute. Keep an eye on our speed, and let's start heading over now to, it's at 197. We'll see if that really works. I'm just curious to see if 197 will really work for us. Or we'll just choose our own. Heading to make some corrections. Come on. There we go. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's not too bad. We might have to come down steeper than 1,000 feet per minute. So instead of making people uncomfortable and coming down more steeply, we'll just slow down with the throttles to buy us more time horizontally, right? That's what we'll do. Because we need to come way down. We'll see how that works. But it's going to make us really slow though. Yeah, I don't know. We'll ride this out for a minute, like literally 1 minute, and then we'll take over by hand. How about we do it that way instead? Alright, we're not going to go for a minute. Because we need to actually, fly the plane here and land. So we're going to bring throttles all the way back. And we'll S-curve ourselves down so we can lose some altitude. Pappy says we're way too high, as expected. Slightly uncomfortable descent rate now, but we need to do it. Let's look outside one final time. But we have to use this camera so I can still control the aircraft because I have the drone controls tied to my yoke and pedals. So I cannot control the aircraft when I'm droning. And we don't have to do it that way, that's just how I do it. So we're going to buy ourselves some time by slowing down and S-curving a little bit. Let's S-curve this way. Now some final looks out the window. And then we'll land in this airplane. It's looking good, isn't it? Now we're below the train already. That is good. Descent rate is realistic. It's just not as comfortable as it could be. And did I need to say anything else? No, we're at the right. We know we're at the right place. Alpha Romeo. Alpha Romeo. There we go. We got one red on the Pappy. So let's. Well, we're actually going to nose up because I want to get into flap range here. Now we'll do throttles to keep us from descending as much. There we go. Alright, perfect. Right at the edge of flap range. One on the Pappy. We'll just keep this glide slope for a minute here. That is a really cool looking town, isn't it? Wow, that's gorgeous. But we have to land a plane. What's on this side? People on the road, drive along the hillside. Alright, we're still one red, which is okay. And there's a big water-featured mountain on the left. Probably not supposed to be like that, but it's interesting anyway. I'm getting blown a little bit. I don't have my wind turned on. Oh yeah, I do right there. I'm getting blown just a little bit. Alrighty, first set of flaps now. That'll slow us down. Whoop, and make us float. Let's get back in control here. Another look at that town while we can. And then we need to stop looking around. There's another weird hill with water over it. And if it, okay, come on. Let's pay attention to what we're doing here. Throttles back to descend and back into the glide slope. And keep an eye on our speed. Alright, we're just going to glide right in here. We'll just keep one set of flaps. We will use reversers because we can. We don't need to, obviously. The runway's long enough. There we go. Reversers ready to engage. Aim for those numbers, and then we'll just level off here. Soften our descent in a little bit. Coming in kind of hot, that's okay. It's another bumpy runway here. Look at that. Let ground effects take over. A ground effect take over. Where are you, ground effect? There we go. Reversers because we can. On the brakes. I don't know why I landed to the right. I usually land to the left. Why did I land so far to the right? I have no idea. There's our safe icon. Exactly perfect. And there we go. It took 12 minutes longer than it was supposed to. Holy cow. Wow. Anyway, that's it. One leg per video for the most part. Like, subscribe. Join me next time for leg 4. It's as simple as that.